Folks, we have another nerf to discuss. This one's hot off the presses. Reckless Experimenter is getting changed. Let's talk about it.
Hey, buddy, watch this.
That's right. Official word coming in from Blizzard. As some of us suspected, Reckless Experimenter getting a tweak here. Priest card, you guys have probably seen a few times here and there. Now reads, can't be reduced below 1 when it reduces the cost of a Death Rattle minion. And if you've been paying attention, you'll know why this is happening, and it's primarily because of a combo that looks a little bit like this one, or really any random mech can meet the needs. But with the new card being introduced, Snip, Snap, and the rise of the mech events, there was a scenario where you could have any mech on board, ideally a Coppertail Imposter played on turn 4, but anything with initiative and the ability to attack, going into a Reckless Experimenter turn where you could play a bunch of Snip Snaps on it for free. Each of them would cost 0, and because it has Magnetic and Echo, that's like an infinite buff. As long as you have time, you can make a ridiculously large minion, and apparently Blizzard determined that you'd have enough time to often create an OTK scenario with that, kind of a 2-turn kill scenario if we're being specific, and that would be unfun for the game. So Reckless Experimenter now means Snip Snap goes down to 1 instead of 0, and you can no longer go infinite. Now, I do want to talk about the implications of this change in a fair bit of detail here, and not from a game balance standpoint, because we don't really know how well this was going to work. It might have been inconsistent. You may not have had enough time, so I don't really have any thoughts on balance. Snip Snap wasn't out yet. We'd never seen the combo in play. Presumably, it would have been a problem, and Blizzard agrees. But I do want to talk about this in 2 other ways, one of which I think is going to be maybe kind of harsh towards Blizzard, and another which is going to be far more positive. So that said, I guess let's start out with a good one, and that is that Blizzard recognized a problem and very quickly changed it before it became an issue and communicated that pretty well. Like, they were just like, okay, this is a problem, let's fix it, let's be quick about it, let's not wait until it actually ruins people's days or ruins the Hearthstone meta. So I like the proactive nature of this fix. I like that they told us about it quickly. All of that was handled really, really well. But on the other hand, how did this slip through? I'm not quite sure how, if they know this is a problem now, they missed it when designing this card in the first place. And let's be clear, right? Like, designing cards is really, really tough. Far tougher than most of us realize. Because when we do things like design custom cards, right? Like, we're just making a one-off card. We don't have to worry necessarily about thousands of implications for what this means across different game modes and different combos. Like, occasionally we'll spot some mistakes like that too. So it's not easy, right? It's a difficult thing. But this one was pretty quickly spotted by the community, and it didn't take a whole lot of work to figure it out. And when you're designing just a single card at a time, like Snip Snap, I would hope that these sorts of combos come up in the balance team. Like, wait a minute, this causes a problem. So I will be honest, it's a little bit concerning and a little bit disheartening to me that it wasn't caught early. If they do think it's a problem, maybe it was recognized by the design team and it was more the community outcry that affected this change than it was like a gap in the kind of knowledge or observation of the design team. I'm willing to believe that. I think that's reasonable. But it does leave me with a little bit of concerns, like, how did this slip through, That said, they're doing a great job overall, so I am not going to criticize that. I couldn't do any better myself. I miss these sorts of things in custom cards all the time. Now, granted, it's not my job and I'm not a team of multiple people, but nonetheless, just something worth thinking about, right? Like, how did they end up in this spot? I would personally like to talk to somebody in the design team and just hear if it was really more of a community reaction thing or if it really did just slip through. And I guess even if it did slip through, hey, we all make mistakes from time to time. It's a cool card otherwise. I think it's really cool that we're getting this card. So I don't want to sound like a complainer just for the sake of complaining. I just think it's an interesting discussion topic. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it too. What do you make of this quick, instant, reactive nerf to a player-identified combo? All that said, still a positive thing in the long run. Like, we get a cool new card. We don't break the game in the meantime. So I'm pretty excited to see Reckless Experimenter here getting changed. But share your thoughts on all of it in the comments below. Was there a better way to do this? A different way to do this? Is it bad to see a card, an old card nerf for the sake of a new card? I want to hear all those thoughts in the comments below. But until then, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, game on.